Meeting's called to order. Mr. Mark Chambers will lead the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mark. Aaron, can we have the roll call, please, to determine if we got a quorum?
Alderperson Fruit.
Here.
Copley.
Here.
McCarthy.
Here.
Chambers.
Here.
Walters.
Here.
Melby. Here. Downs.
Here.
Cairns.
Here.
All right, you got a quorum.
Thank you. Was this meeting properly noticed?
It was.
Thank you, Mr. Joyce. Next on the agenda is approving the minutes from March 5th. Once the council's had a moment to review those minutes, entertain a motion to approve.
Just a question on number 12 under the Personnel Committee recommendations. Aaron, should the end of the first line be officers instead of offers?
Oh, yeah, probably should be.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for March 5th, 2024.
Motion from Alderperson Tepley. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Tom McCarthy. Any discussion of the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes from March 5th, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Minutes are approved. Item 2, approve the council agenda. Again, once the council has had a moment to review, entertain a motion to approve.
Need to remove items 17, 23, and 26.
Okay, removing 17, 23, and 26. Any other amendment?
Number 7.
Oh, right, okay, we will not be appointing a forester tonight. I'll explain that later. So 7 comes off as well. Yep, 7 is off. 17, 23, 26. Okay, if there are no other changes, entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the amended agenda.
Motion from Alderperson Walters. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Downs. Any discussion of the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of approving tonight's amended agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. The agenda is approved. All right. City and Utility Department Head reports and concerns. Billy Jones.
No, nothing tonight.
I caught him with his phone. Sorry about that, but I didn't even get it. Jody Meehan, welcome to the council meeting. Did you have anything you'd like to tell us about that?
Would you like me to wait till it comes to it on the,
We'll do that for that landing later. This is more anything you want us to know that's going on in the parks, any updates that you want the council to hear.
the pressure? Well,
Let me ask
right
you-
now we're getting, I'm compiling employees for the pool, hoping to get more, going to some career days at Riverdale and Ithaca, so hopefully I can get some more guards. I'm not seeing, it may be early yet, but I can't remember at what time last year I was stressing about it. So maybe it's okay right now, but
I saw the ad running that you're looking for summertime help.
yes.
Okay.
Yep, I reran the ad again for a couple weeks, and so we are getting more coming in. So I just need to talk to a few of the other ones that have a 2-year certification yet for this year. Hopefully I can talk them into doing some hours, if not full time.
Thanks, Jody.
Jody, was there something in there about the hospital partnering with the Parks Department for some days at the pool?
Yes, the hospital is turning 100-year-old, I believe. If that makes sense. And anyway, they want to do something special for the community, and they want to do 3 days where they are sponsoring admission to the pool. So they're going to do one a month that we're open. So that's kind of exciting. I'm also working with Denise at Simons for some possible maintenance assistance. Once they hire a full-time maintenance, I'd like to discuss possibly contract with the county as far as Denise and I had talked about utilizing that person for our startup and tear down for the pool to help us out with that, as included in their job description. So that's what I'm working on.
Thanks, Jody. Spencer?
So we are currently in the transition from the winter to summer season. We have about 75% of our seasonal staff hired, with 2 remaining people to interview. That will be happening early next week. We have been working in conjunction with Jody to help prepare for the opening of the pool. That will be starting at the beginning of the month. We have just finished up with our preseason maintenance of all our mowing and lawn care equipment, and we should be off to a good start for the season.
Thank you. Jason? I got 2. I knew that was going to happen.
Is it on? Snow plows are off, hopefully for the last time for the year. We're transitioning into our spring cleanup and projects. Other than that, that's pretty much what we got going.
Thank you. Mr. Glassman? Say that.
All right, so I do have up on the screen here the Economic Development Director's report that is reported to the Finance Committee, which is my home committee. But I wanted to highlight just a couple of things. One, and it was in the paper and it's been talked about, the city was awarded a $2.5 million grant that Ashley and I wrote for in 2023. That is to support infrastructure expansion to the east, to the area of the future hospital site. And I did just want to shout out utilities team, Todd Fisher, Steve Kruger, and Scott Gall. All were part of that process, talking about what we need to do and accomplish. And so this won't cover the entirety of the expansion, but it'll take us a long way. Second thing is, we were finally able to execute a contract with WEDC, Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, and we executed a grant award document for Los Amigos expansion on Main Street. So they will be moving and expanding their expanding into the building that's next door with more of a larger gathering area and a secondary little service bar. So that's really exciting stuff. We thought, wow, since we just got one congressional grant, let's try again. So Ashley and I partnered together to write for a 2025 allocation of funds. This project would focus on the downtown area around the Hill Country properties that the city has a purchase agreement on. It would replace, again, some water main, some sewer main, replace streets, look at stormwater issues that we've got there, and will just aid us in bringing redevelopment to the downtown area. That grant that we wrote for and submitted is for $4.1 million, and we have met with Representative Van Orden's office, Molly from that office, to kind of discuss the grant, and so we thought we'd try it again. Other than that, if you would like to in the future or at any time refer to the Finance Committee, you can find the full report that I give to the Finance Committee covering various other projects that I work on from meeting to meeting. So I think that's it. Oh, one last thing. On the wall there, that direction is a sample of our new wayfinding signs that we've been working on for a couple of years. Just want to say shout out to Karen. Thank you for all of your work in that. This is a process that's been going on for years, and we finally got enough traction to, through a rebranding process, to end up with new wayfinding signs. This council has already approved the purchase of those, but that's a mock-up of what they're going to look like, and there's a few tweaks to that, but when I saw it, I was pretty excited. Hopefully you are too, and those will soon be up. One item of note is if you notice the city entrance sign disappearing from its current location out near Homesteaders, it's because the sign is being removed to be resurfaced. So Billy, nobody stole it, okay? So I think that's it.
Jason, you said that those signs, I was in here talking to you a couple weeks ago or last week, whatever, that the sign itself is going to have kind of a reflective, right? The white is going to be reflective, so at night you could see those elements as well?
Yeah, we actually have, yes, that's correct. They will be reflective. There is a way that you don't do that, but we kind of went in a direction with some moderate of changes to the design and colors so that the entire sign will reflect if the headlights hit the sign. So I think they're really going to stand out.
Thanks, Jason. Aaron?
Is this thing on? No. All right. Just wanted to report the city had a 42% turnout for the election on April 2nd. Very proud of our poll workers for the job that they did that day. It was the first election that we implemented our new Badger books in, which totally redesigned the gymnasium at the community center. A lot of shocked faces when folks came in to vote that night looking for their wards, and there's no ward signs to go to. You just go to the Badger book, sign in, get your ticket for which ballot you got, and then you were on your way. Everybody really seemed to think that they were pretty slick. The poll workers really enjoyed working the Badger books, got a lot of great comments from the voters too, who thought that the process was pretty slick. So very happy to have those as part of our procedures for election day now and moving forward. There will be some things that we work on to improve our procedures that we learned. So hopefully we'll have a lot of those worked out by this fall. So,
Thank you. Ashley?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who completed those committee preference sheets, and we were able to get them in the packet, and I hope that you find them useful tonight when you're going through the appointment and confirmation process. So thank you again.
Mayor Todd, I do, if I could just add two more shout outs. Thanks to Jason, who's also been collaborating with us on the street signs here. So we've had a couple of trips in the truck, or one trip in the truck where we're going to spot those up. So Jason and Jody's been involved in that process too. So thank both of them for their work on this project.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Next up, Mayor and Alderpersons Committee, Commission, Board reports and comments and/or items to be discussed at the meeting and future agenda items. Mr. Fruit, you've won an election now.
Thank you.
What more? Anything you'd like to say tonight?
Not tonight, Mayor, thank you.
Okay, good. Karen Tepley.
Yes, on two committees, well, tourism did not meet, and from the library board, just want to report that circulation is strong. We had an uptick in juvenile circulation, so that was a good thing to see. And then we also have two employees that one has started, one will start in May. Those are part-time employees. And then we also have 4 interviews for our programming coordinator coming up in the next week. Then we also are talking to a couple of sign companies to do a little refurbishing of the sign that's out in front for the library, as well as the landscaping project. So things will be looking all freshened up at the library. And that's all I have for committee reports. And then for a future agenda item, I was just wondering if we can take a look, either form an ad hoc committee or a work group to go over council rules versus the good old blue book of Robert's Rules. I don't think those rules have been looked at in a good many years. So maybe it needs a little refresh.
Okay. Thanks, Karen. Tom McCarthy.
Nothing tonight.
Mark Chambers.
just one quick note from the park department. Jody's here from Parks.
One of the things that we discussed at the last meeting was a change in, or an amendment or change, I guess I could say, to some of the language within the adoption of monetary, non-monetary in-kind donations. And that language was unanimously approved by the park. I want to thank Ashley for helping us out with that, and Jody as well. It was just kind of a question that came up as we were discussing some things, and those that were involved made pretty darn quick work of that, so thank you.
Thanks, Melanie Walter.
So Simon's committee or natatorium board met last night, and we got to meet the new director, Mike Hardy. He is from the Richland Center area. He's been the Park and Rec director for Baraboo for the last 15 years. Some of you may know his wife, Amy, is the principal of the primary school here in town. So he started yesterday, was his first day. We also have hired a full-time maintenance person. Don't quote me, I think his name is Troy Jones is his name, and I believe he's starting either the end of this week or next week. And then we are currently doing interviews for an assistant director. The county asked me to sit in on those interviews, so we conducted yesterday, today, and then we have a few more on Thursday, so they're hoping that they will be able to offer the assistant director job by the end of the week is the plan. So then that will be their 3 main full-time people that will finally be in place out there. And then for the personnel committee, again, we have open positions, but Ashley had said after our last personnel meeting that she's been receiving quite a few applications still and going through those. So I'm sure we'll be discussing them at our next personnel meeting and seeing if there's anyone we would like to contribute and perhaps offer a job on those. So that's exciting as well. That's it.
All right, Kevin Melby.
Public safety, public work stuff is mentioned later on, so nothing else.
Steve Downs.
Nothing to add here.
All right, Ryan Cairns.
Nothing tonight, Mayor, thank you.
Okay, what I'm going to do is just read this notice I've gotten twice now. The Richland County Veterans Monument Committee cordially invites you to the dedication of the first placement of the Veterans Headstones, Saturday, May 18th at 1 p.m. in the Richland Center Cemetery. And the directions, it says to continue straight off of 10th Street onto Lee Drive. Mr. Ron Fruit will be introducing each veteran that has had a headstone placed. Local veterans will be performing a 21-gun salute. And the note says, we're so grateful for the donations we received by many in the community. If not for you, we couldn't have done this. A special thanks to Foggy Bottom Woodworks and Kent Adsit Concrete. So again, anyone that would like to witness that, be there for the ceremony, Saturday the 18th of May, 1 p.m., Richland Center Cemetery. Okay, on to reorganization appointments and confirmations. You should all have our copy of this. Okay, first on the item 4 is to nominate and elect a council president. The process goes like this. If you would like to nominate the older person to be the council president, now is the time to do so. If anyone would like to do so, go ahead.
I would like to nominate Brian Cairns.
Brian Cairns nominated by older person Tepe. Any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, then I'll close the nomination process for council president. At this time, we will elect council president. Ryan's nominated. All in favor of electing Ryan Cairns council president, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Cairns, you are the president. Item 5, appoint the city attorney. Actually, are we still doing that this way? This was going to move to a council appointment like that.
Correct, although I don't think it's absolutely necessary that you do this tonight.
That's why I'm asking.
Because he did just get appointed recently
He did.
as the contract.
You just, okay, perfect. All right, then we'll leave that off because he is signed. Okay, 6, appoint the city assessor, which I nominated Gretchen Jelinek to continue in the role. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving Gretchen Jelinek as city assessor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That one's confirmed. Okay, 7, the reason we're not appointing a forester tonight, the tree board will need to meet in the next few weeks because when we looked into this, the former foresters, Dave Fry, who retired from the city, Ashley thought maybe personnel should review hiring one. We looked at that. The tree board, under the Tree City USA rules, needs to meet and do this process and nominate the next forester for the council to approve. So it's not going to happen tonight. The tree board will need to meet and bring that to us. Item 8, appoint emergency government coordinator. Mr. Kevin Milby's been serving in that role. He's the nominee again. Any discussion? All in favor of approving Mr. Milby as the emergency government coordinator, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Mr. Milby is the emergency government coordinator. Designating the official newspaper as the Richland Observer. All in favor of approving the Observer as the official newspaper, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Observer is it. 10, elect 2 council representatives to the Utility Commission. It works just like the council president. Now is the time to nominate any older person to be elected to the Utility Commission. If you'd like to do so, please go ahead.
I would like to nominate Kevin Melby.
Mr. Melby nominated by Ms. Walters. And in this last year, I believe Kevin and Steve served, correct? Okay. Any other we need to elect to? Any other nominations?
I'll nominate Mr. Downs.
Okay, Mr. Downs nominated by Mr. Melby. Further nominations for the Utility Commission? Hearing none, all in favor of electing Mr. Melby and Mr. Downs as the council representatives to the Utility Commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, gentlemen. Okay, committees, commissions, and boards. Now, as Ashley mentioned earlier, she provided a sheet to the older persons to indicate their life experiences, qualifications, and match that to their preferences of what committees they want to serve on. And it matched very closely to the committees they've been serving on. So there aren't major changes, but there are some, and I'll just read through one at a time. Let's see, nominations to serve on finance. Chair would be Ryan Cairns, joined by Karen Tepley and Melanie Walters. Any discussion on that one? All in favor of approving that finance committee, Cairns as chair with Tepley and Walters, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? One's done. Safety committee, opposing chair Kevin Melby, joined by Mr. Downs and Mr. Fruit. Any discussion? All in favor of approving that committee, safety committee chair by Melby, serving with Downs and Fruit, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Safety committee is set. The Public Works Committee, proposing Chair Melby, joined by Walters and Fruit. Any discussion? All in favor of approving that committee, chaired by Melby, joined by Walters and Fruit, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Tourism, there's another one coming later. I'll explain when we get to it. The council representative on tourism, I'm proposing Ron Fruit. Any discussion? All in favor of approving Mr. Fruit for tourism, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
ADA, Mr. Downs served last year. I'm proposing to leave him on that committee. Any discussion? All in favor of approving Alderperson Downs for ADA, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, ambulance, this last year Tom McCarthy served with Sharon Schmitz, who has served for several years, dating back to when Mr. Kaufman was mayor. I talked to her. She's not going to continue. I'm replacing her with myself, so I have myself and Tom McCarthy. Any discussion? All in favor of approving Mayor Copper and Alderperson McCarthy for ambulance committee, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, fire, last year McCarthy and Downs, proposing to leave it the same. Any discussion? All in favor of approving McCarthy and Downs for fire committee, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? Excellent. Natatorium, we had Walters and Chambers. I'm proposing to leave that. That committee's very happy with the two of them. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approving Walters and Chambers to Natatorium, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Plan Commission, we had myself, Ryan, and Karen proposing to leave the same three. Any discussion? All in favor of approving myself, Ryan, and Karen to the Plan Commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
So these are appointments just for council. What about appointments for citizen.
It's further down the page.
I'm sorry.
We're getting there.
Oh,
We're going. Okay, tree board, which we'll need to meet, and that I've set it to be chaired by Mr. Cairns, joined by Chambers and Fruit. Any discussion? All in favor of tree board chaired by Cairns, joined by Chambers and Fruit, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Tree board is set. Personnel has been chaired by Walters, joined by Cairns and McCarthy, proposing to leave that as it is. Any discussion? All in favor of approving personnel chaired by Walters, joined by Cairns and McCarthy, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Board of Review, I think I made one change. Chambers is in, I don't remember who was there. That's right, because you're on another committee now. Okay, Board of Review, myself, Mr. Melby, Mr. McCarthy, Mr. Chambers, and Aaron Joyce with Karen Tepley as alternate. Any discussion? All in favor of approving Board of Review, Coppernoll, Melby, McCarthy, Chambers, Joyce, alternate Tepley, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Park Board, Mr. Chambers served last year. He would like to continue. Any discussion? All in favor of approving Mr. Chambers to the Park Board, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approved Library Board, Karen has been serving for several years. She wants to remain. They want her to. Any discussion? All in favor of approving Tepley for Library Board, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Police Commission, John Clare is up for renewal. He wants to remain as a citizen appointee. Any discussion? All in favor of approving John Clare to the Police Commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Park Board, same thing. Larry Hallett wants to remain. Any discussion? All in favor of approving Larry Hallett to the Park Board, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Zoning Board of Appeals, Dave Turk has been on several years, agreed to remain. Any discussion? All in favor of retaining Mr. Dave Turk, reappointing to Zoning Board of Appeals, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Historic Preservation, Ken P., very excited to serve and will be the new president of Historic Preservation. Any discussion? All in favor of approving Mr. Ken P. to Historic Preservation, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we did, let's see, Assessor, City Attorney, we don't need to do, we did all of that. I need, on the next meeting, I'm going to put some more on library because I believe that there are some inaccuracies on the list I have for who's up, and I just want to confirm so I don't replace somebody who shouldn't be. So we'll talk about that and make sure we have them right and just do it at the next one. Okay. That is the entire list that I have. Nice job, guys. All right.
So my question on planning,
Yep.
where we do
Oh,
have.
yes, I am missing one. And it should be on there. Yes, I'm sorry, there is one missing. Mark Jelenic, thank you. Those want to remain on planning. So, and he's been on for several years. All in favor of reappointing Mark Jelenic to the Plan Commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Excellent, thanks.
And others?
They're still not, they're not
Oh,
one year,
they're not.
they're not 1 year term.
Okay,
Yeah, so everybody else, those come up once, at one person, one
Okay.
citizen a year, and the rest of them still had time.
perfect, thank you.
And Mark was happy to stay. All right. That puts us at the treasurer's report, Mr. Joyce.
Okay, this is the treasurer's report for the period ending March 31st, 2024. City General had an ending balance of $150,100. State Pool number 1 had an ending balance of $5,979,088. Let's see. Our business RLF savings account that had an ending balance of $581,407. Others of note on here, our library checking had an ending balance of $201,107. Our Greater Richland Tourism account ending balance of $51,649. State Pool number 4 that had an ending balance of $1,695,530. Any questions?
I do have one question. If you would, one more time, the room tax and the Greater Richland Tourism,
Sure.
could you just explain those two?
Yes, the room tax is now it's a 7% room tax for all of the guests who stay in the city, hotels and other short-term rental properties. Of that amount that is collected for the city's room tax, 70% of that gets transferred to Greater Richland Tourism, which is the fund that is used to promote tourism activities in the area. Also within the Greater Richland Tourism account is funds from other municipalities.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep. So that's kind of where the combined money sets, whereas the room tax is just the city's, what we've collected.
Any other questions or comments from Mr. Joyce? Hearing none, all in favor of approving?
You don't have a motion?
Oh, true, thanks. All right, need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Motion from Mr. Melby, is there a second?
I'll second.
I'm not sure we got that first. I think that was Karen, that actually sounded like Karen. We're gonna go with Tepley on this. Okay, any discussion of the treasurer's report? All right, hearing none, let's do a roll call here.
Alderperson Tepley?
Aye.
McCarthy?
Aye.
Chambers?
Aye.
Walters?
Aye.
Melby?
Aye.
Downs?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Fruit?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, now I'm gonna back up because as I discussed briefly right before we began the meeting, because I wanted to confirm her interest, there is one more appointment I'm gonna make, and it's to tourism. And I talked to Mr. Wendell about what I wanted to do. He said there's absolutely no reason not to. So appointing as a citizen appointee to the Tourism Commission, Karen Tapley. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving Tapley to the Tourism Commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Okay. Treasurer's report is approved. On to payment of the bills. Please take a moment to review. The bills presented on this day, excluding any library fund invoices having been referred to the Finance and Budget Committee, and said committee having duly investigated and audited these bills, hereby make the following recommendation: that the city bills presented on this day be paid with the following adjustments and/or exceptions, none are listed, is signed by all three members of the Finance Committee. Entertain a motion to pay the bills.
Motion to pay the bill.
Got the motion, was that Mr. Melby? Mr. Downs, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Walters. Any discussion of the bills?
Quick question, Aaron, Civic Plus LLC says Munich code twice. Can you?
I can.
Okay. Thank you.
So that is our website as well as the meeting and agenda management program that we use. So it's an annual software fee for each thing.
Thank you.
Any other discussion of the bills? All right, we got the motion and the second. Aaron, please do a roll call.
Alderperson McCarthy?
Aye.
Chambers?
Aye.
Walters?
Aye.
Melby?
Aye.
Downs?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Fruit?
Aye.
Tepley?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, that's approved. Item 14, temporary Class B beer and Class B wine license from Greater Richland Area Chamber for beer and wine walk, May 17th. Did that come through public safety, Mr. Melby?
It did. We met earlier this evening and approved the temporary Class B beer and Class B wine license for Greater Richland Area Chamber for their spring wine walk on May 17th, 2024.
Motion from Mr. Melby. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Mr. Chambers. Any discussion?
I'll just say that you might see additional locations come next month to kind of round out their spots. They can have up to 20 locations for the picnic license. So not all of them were included in this first batch. So they'll probably be back next month for a couple more.
All right, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving a temporary Class B beer and Class B wine license from Greater Richland Area Chamber for a beer and wine walk on May 17, 2024, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one's carried. Item 15, Mr. Melby.
All right, temporary Class B picnic license for the chamber, for the same date, for the Royal Bank parking lot.
Motion from Mr. Melby. Is there a second? Second from Mr. Down. Any discussion of the temporary Class B picnic license from Greater Richland Area Chamber of Commerce for May 17th, that is, you said the Royal Bank parking lot? Any discussion?
They're just gonna have like a stand set up there, sorry.
I was gonna give a little
Oh,
info on that. They're gonna have live music that evening. Some local band, some bald guys playing, I guess.
Wow.
From what I hear.
All right.
They're all right. They're all right, should be.
So then they're just gonna have a separate area for selling beer and wine next to the, like, the music entertainment?
Right, so the-
Aside from the wine and beer walk?
Right, so that cutout, if you will, behind the Royal Bank, that's where the music will be set up. People can gather there, and then on the block that's being blockaded as well.
Okay.
What is the name of the band, Mr. Chambers?
The name of the band is Bald with 2 Ds.
B-A-L-D-D?
Correct.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor of approving the temporary Class B picnic license from Greater Richland Area Chamber of Commerce for Friday, May 17, 2024, Royal Bank parking lot, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one carried. Item 16, discussion and possible approval of a facility agreement between the Richland School District and the City of Richland Center. All right, who's got that one? Did that come?
They came through parts. Jody, do you want to kind of explain that a little bit?
Yep, sure.
It's on.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hot mic.
Okay.
We met with Richland School District, Steve Board, John Bosworth, Ashley and I, to discuss any changes that were needed. We reviewed it, and basically the only changes were made were the dates, replacing each specific component of properties listed with basic verbiage of facilities instead of listing all the facilities. And then all of our recreation and sanction programs instead of listing out all those sanction groups. Also, number 15, updated dates to reflect 2025 and 2026. And then number 17, adding language to include that Storyfield may be discontinued should the city start development on that property. As far as that goes, we discussed at Park Board April 8th. Board of Education reviewed it April 8th, and Park Board recommended signing that contract.
And this has been in place for about how long, Jody?
Probably over 11 years since I've worked at the city.
Well, first of all, any questions or comments for Jody? Okay, hearing none. Now entertain a motion to approve the facility agreement between the Richland School District and the City of Richland Center, and this is effective July 1 of 24 through June 30 of 26.
I'll make that motion.
Motion from Mr. Chambers. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Melby. Is there discussion? Hearing none. Aaron, let's do a roll call. Is the mic still in the back? Okay.
Alderperson Chambers,
Aye.
Walters,
Aye.
Melby,
Aye.
Downs, Cairns,
Aye.
Root,
Aye.
Hepley,
Aye.
McCarthy.
Right.
Motion carries.
Excellent. Next would be Finance Committee recommendations in action. Mr. Ryan Cairns.
Thank you. Finance met prior to council, and we're starting with item 18, consider purchase of a mower tractor. After discussion, we couldn't make a recommendation and decided to bring this item to council to decide. Would you like to discuss, Spencer, since you were polite enough to stick around? Thank you for sticking around.
Thanks, Spencer.
So historically, the tractor, mower tractors used by our department have been purchased through Simpson Tractor and Homesteader. We have tried a combination of Kubota, LS, and New Holland tractors. We have found there to be substantial issues in the build quality and design of the mower decks, as well as the spindles that are responsible for holding those decks into adjustment. Essentially what happens is the rough terrain that these tractors are used on causes wear, and the grooves that are machined into the spindle responsible for holding the deck height to adjustment start to wear and fail, causing the decks of our tractors to continue to lower to essentially until they start to scalp the ground. That has been one problem that has historically been experienced with these tractors. There's also been issues with the lift arms breaking. There's been work that has been tried to, additional fabrication work that has been historically done by a retired member of the streets department. That did help with the quality, the build quality, and the issues that we have had with mower tractors, but it did not eliminate the problems. Essentially what it did is it found a new weak point, which was the lift arm itself. And we've had significant issues, not only with breaking of these lift arms, but also issues getting the parts to perform the necessary repair to get the tractor back up and running in a timely fashion. Essentially, it typically takes approximately a week start to finish by the time the arm is ordered and installed and the tractor is ready to move, leaving us with issues of throwing off the schedule, putting us behind on our mowing schedule.
Weird,
Just read the tape.
So with those things being said, it would be my recommendation to move forward with the purchase of a Bobcat tractor from Jay's Power Sports.
Okay, so we heard from Spencer, and there wasn't a recommendation from Finance, correct? It's just for the council to hear and decide, correct? So in that case, entertain a motion, say it again, to purchase which one?
A Bobcat tractor from Jay's Power Sports in Reedsburg.
And what is the dollar amount? Whoever's got it. Please say that.
$18,633.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion, if anyone would like to make that.
I'll make that motion.
Motion from Mr. Melby, is there a second? Second from Mr. Downs, is there discussion?
Spencer, the cost of doing those fix-its, as you were saying before, not only with time, but financially, I mean, a monetary cost, what would that run the parks department?
It's varied in range due to the amount of damage on the parts that they have found to have been the culprit for the issue. Typically, it ranges from approximately $600 to $1,200 for the rebuild of those systems.
And that would be each time you would have to do, this could be a potential that it would happen over and over again?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That's what we discussed at Public Works. The Bobcat is the one that actually comes with front end loader as well, so there's something additional with this one.
The Bobcat does come with a front end loader. That is the only tractor that comes with a front end loader. Historically, our department has not had a need for that end loader. The question was brought up to Jay's Power Sports if removing the end loader from the purchase of the tractor would decrease the cost, and they stated that it would not.
And I think you had said at finance that the Bobcat comes from the factory with already, I don't remember what part you said keeps breaking, they're already reinforced.
Essentially, the mower deck and the lift arms have additional gusseting, which would be reinforcement plates that are added into the build of that mower deck to hopefully give us a better chance at having a longer life out of this piece of equipment.
these tractors primarily just used for mowing?
Yes.
Is there a reason we have tractors and zero turns?
The reason for that is because the side hills, there's areas in the cemetery, Story Field, as well as the dike that has been historically mowed with the tractors. It has been attempted on zero turns, but due to the steepness of the side hills, we choose to not allow the zero turns in the steep side hill sections as a safety concern for the operators. The tractors, being four-wheel drive, will hold a much better side hill, and they are a lot more stable on the side hills.
So Spencer, looking at the three different bids for the three different types that you folks were going out for, the Bobcat brand is the highest amount. However, per what you've been reviewing, seems like that would make the most sense to purchase because the durability of the equipment and the potential fixes that might have to come with these other ones, you're probably going to be reaching that amount anyway, maybe within a couple of years.
The other factor to consider is that the Bobcat has an extended warranty. The Bobcat tractor comes with 2-year bumper-to-bumper warranty as well as a 6-year powertrain warranty. The LS and New Holland tractors only come with a 2-year bumper-to-bumper warranty.
Does that include the mower deck?
It does, yes.
So some of the concerns at finance, this is unknown to us. We don't own any Bobcat subcompact tractors. So again, we're just going on a salesperson. Todd and I know how salespeople are.
Wonderful.
And the one concern I had, even though the warranty on the powertrain is longer, is it's in Reedsburg. So essentially, anytime there's a warranty concern, somebody has to load the tractor up, take it to Reedsburg, and 45 minutes. You might as well say it takes an hour to get there. So 2 hours every time we got to do something. I'm always in my whole career, anytime we're talking about equipment or whatever you're buying, is how you can get it serviced. What's the service location? So that was some of the concerns, along with the unknown of Bobcat. And one thing that at least that I brought up in finance before is keeping like machines in the fleet, so parts are the same, and we're not dealing with one oddball. The fleet is getting better. At one time, I think we had a different color for every operator, and it's just the unknowns that we're going into. So we're gonna spend the bids from the low were 12.8, 14.9 to 18.633. For this, you hadn't mentioned it had a loader on it. That was a mission in finance. That's a big attachment that comes with it that helps explain the price difference. But there's still a lot of unknowns in my mind. But it's about service and who can take care of it. So.
And my question, and Ryan was on a similar track right there. We haven't owned one of these. Expected life of the machine, if we buy this, does anybody, versus, okay, let me ask this. What has been, what kind of life have we gotten out of what it will replace?
The life that we've gotten out of the brand tractors that we've historically had has not been great. Typically, we've been seeing 3 to 4 years out of these pieces of equipment before they are to the point where they are needing substantial repair or replacement.
Okay.
One of the questions I'd asked you, Spencer, before is it's the mower deck that's the problem.
That's part of the problem. It's the lift arms that I'm describing go between the frame of the tractor and the mower deck itself. The mower deck has weak points that have been addressed by adding some additional metal fabrication work, essentially just adding some plating and gussets to the mower deck to help strengthen the weak areas. That has been a good success with the mower deck. It has not solved the issue with the mower deck lowering on its own as the adjustment spindle has wore out. And it has not solved any issues with the lift arms themselves.
And the LS and the two New Hollands, they're the exact same tractors?
Yes, they are 100% identical with the exception of the paint color and decals are slightly different.
And the LS is the newest, correct?
Correct, yes.
And when was the first failure of the lower deck or the arms? How many hours did we put on the tractor before it happened?
Last year, the first failure was at 550 hours, and that mower has had 3 gearboxes replaced last year alone.
So we have 3 tractors that are the same, and one of the thoughts, typically you see this in like large scale custom operations in the ag market. You know, if you have a known issue, and I just asked if they ever thought about buying a spare mower deck or the spare lift arms to have, so we just trade them out as they get repaired so you can continue to run.
We do keep spare lift arms on hand. One set is new, and then we do keep a backup spare set that was a previously broken set that had been rewelded and repaired. It wouldn't be the ideal situation, but it could potentially get us out of a bind if need be. The mower deck, historically, I don't believe that there's been any consideration to having a spare mower deck.
How much are the lift arms?
The lift arms are approximately $200 a piece.
How long does it take to replace them?
That would be a 4-hour job.
You're not unsorry. Sorry. Look like you were keeping
Spencer was trying to keep you this long.
You're not unfamiliar with the Bobcat brand because we have other equipment that is Bobcat, correct?
I'm not unfamiliar with the brand, but the tractors would be new to us.
You do have a piece of Bobcat equipment.
We have a Bobcat tool cat as well as a Bobcat snowblower attachment that goes on the tool cat.
And then I think it also in Public Works, we discussed that once there are issues with the machines after they are out of warranty, you guys try and fix them yourself anyway?
Yes, we do as much in-house repair as possible.
Just to clarify, that came up in finance, the Bobcat Toolcat is a one-off item. They're the only ones that make that. Nobody else makes it. So that's the reason we have the Bobcat. And Toolcat, I believe that was purchased from Ritchie's, which that was, whenever that was traded, it was a great deal. We had one prior, but we discussed the concern of the service. But the Toolcat, what's the list price on the Toolcat? It's more than our vehicles, so it's a whole different beast. It's not a subcompact tractor.
I want to say that the list price on a tool cat is, if my memory serves me right, I want to say somewhere along the lines of $80,000.
With attachments, yes.
So I know I'm digging, you're gonna tell me we haven't had one yet, and that's fair, but I wanna ask this. And we were just asked about maintenance, and you said that our guys try to do as much as you can. Do we know if there are things on here that are complex and will have to be done dealership? Like, is this a more complex machine? The reason I'm asking that is I'm gonna bet you they're about $135 an hour over there.
So we'll use the gearboxes on the lower decks as a specific example because that was a major problem for us last year. The first gearbox was replaced in-house. After that gearbox failing, I want to say it was within the first week of using this gearbox. The tractor was then loaded up and taken to Homesteaders. From that point, they replaced the gearbox. We went approximately another month and a half before having to return for yet the third gearbox to be installed on that tractor that season. We talked to them to verify after the first gearbox failure that the maintenance intervals that are being performed are adequate. And what we were suggested is due to the wear and tear and the environment that these tractors work in, it was suggested that we check the gearbox fluid every 8 hours, which would be daily. To do that, that mower deck has to be dropped off and the front drive shaft has to be removed to gain access to the fill port on the gearbox to verify where the fluid level is.
And I'm sure that only takes about 3 minutes, right? Just a shade over.
That in itself, I would estimate to be somewhere between an hour and a half every time we have to check that fluid.
Which business gave you that advice?
Homesteaders.
Thanks.
Can I ask one more question, Spencer? I'm sorry. Thank you for all the information, by the way. The cat brand that you guys were looking at, that particular model, what's the, do we have kind of a history on those? How well did they perform? How well did they stand up? If we're making a comparative, if we're looking at possibly making that purchase, if we're making apples to apples here, what's the better choice in your opinion?
My personal opinion is the Bobcat. The reason for that being is because with the LS and the New Holland tractors being identical builds, continuing to purchase those brands makes me question if we are purchasing a known problem and continuing to make that same judgment every time. The Bobcat appears to be a more accessible tractor to work on. So when I say that, I mean that the components are slightly more spread out. The repairs look like they would be easier to make by our staff with the tools that we currently possess. On top of that, another big factor was, and probably the largest factor that makes me recommend that brand, is the additional fabricating work that is already done on the Bobcat tractor. So for us to, if we purchased potentially a new LS or New Holland, that would run us into the situation of then having to do that additional fabricating work that we know has to be done, which would have some cost, even though minimal, but there would be some associated cost with that, as well as the time to make those improvements to a brand new machine.
Spencer, you also talked to us during Public Works about the strength and viability of the deck. The Bobcat compared to the LS and the New Holland is a drive-over deck.
Yes, it is. The LS and New Holland are not drive-over decks, so the Bobcat is. Essentially, that's on top of having the additional reinforcements. That deck is built out of a thicker gauge steel as well.
The bid process, do we post these in the official newspaper and then is that the only place it was posted?
Only the newspaper.
And then did Jay's see that and send their bid in, or did we talk to Jay's?
Dave Fry was actually in contact with Jay's a year or so prior, so then we contacted them again.
To submit a bid?
Asked if they would be interested, yes.
Did we do that with any other dealers?
We spoke with Simpson Tractor and Homesteaders.
And what about the famous green brand of tractor that's right up the road from us?
We did not reach out to a John Deere dealership.
Was there any reason for that?
Solely because the John Deere was even more expensive than the Bobcat.
Kind of thought that was the case.
Do we know that for a fact?
Just off of pricing, comparing MSRPs.
All right, further discussion? Okay, we have the motion in the second. Any further discussion? It's been agreed? No, if there's one that has to do it, it's not a small purchase. All right, Mr. Joyce, we'll need a roll call.
Alderperson Walters.
Aye.
Melby.
Aye.
Downs.
Aye.
Cairns.
Nay.
Root.
Aye.
Tepley.
Aye.
McCarthy.
Aye.
Chambers.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right.
Number 19, consider purchase of a snow blower. At finance, We discussed the snow blower situation with the Parks Department. The current one that they have is not the correct model for the machine. Spencer went over the attachment for the skid steer, correct?
Correct.
And 2 bids came in, and his recommendation was the one from Simpson's, the Manitou Edge, and my motion would be to purchase a new skid steer mounted edge snow blower from Simpson Tractor at the quoted price of $10,944.
Motion from Alderperson Cairns, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Ms. Tepley, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll need a roll call, Mr. Joyce.
Alderperson Melby. Downs. Cairns.
Aye.
Fruit.
Aye.
Tepley.
Aye.
McCarthy.
Aye.
Chambers.
Aye.
Walters.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 20, consider purchase of a zero-turn mower. Again, at finance, Spencer went over the bids that came in, and his recommendation and finance recommendation was, my motion will be to purchase a new 2024 Ferris ISX 3300 with a 60-inch mower deck at a price of $14,599.90.
Motion from Mr. Cairns, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Mr. Milton, any discussion?
How many zero turns do we currently have? Sorry, Aaron.
We currently possess 5 zero turns.
All 5 of those, are we looking at more
We have-
models of those as well, or?
We currently possess 2 Ferris mowers and 3 Dixie chopper mowers. The reason for leaning towards Ferris, the largest reason, is both the zero turn that we are looking to replace was purchased in 2021. It is a Dixie chopper mower. We've had issues with that have been unable to be successfully repaired. The issues consist of the front spindles allow the wheels to, I don't know, saw back and forth as the operator is mowing on or running down imperfect terrain, causing a potential safety hazard for the person that's operating this mower. Well, especially running down pavement from lot to lot. On the road, it's not the safest thing to hit a bump and then have the mower start to dart all over the road, and then on top of that we have the concerns of pedestrians, parked cars, as well as traffic as well on the road.
It's just that single mower that you're talking about?
We've had that issue with all 3 Dixie chopper mowers that we have.
Are we looking at down the road replacing those other Dixie choppers then as well?
Correct? Yes.
Further discussion? Mr. Joyce will need the microphone again. There we got no further discussion, we have the motion and the second. Go ahead, Mr. Joyce, for roll call.
Alderperson Downs.
Aye.
Cairns.
Aye.
Fruit.
Aye.
Tepley.
Aye.
McCarthy. Chambers.
Aye.
Walters.
Aye.
Melby.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, next on the agenda, item 21, resolution to accept a non-monetary donation of a kayak landing. There are a couple people here who are qualified to talk about this. Either one of you have anything you'd like to say to the council about how we got here with this? Dale, do you want to talk about it? Sure. Go ahead, let's give the microphone to Mr. Dale Bender.
We had a long history with both the city and the county through Southwest Partners on Pine River to develop it. And this particular landing, we have an old jet ski landing at. It's been less than ideal. We rip-wrapped it several years ago and formed a landing down there at, I don't know what's it called now.
South Wedgewood.
South Wedgewood, okay. South Wedgewood, and what had happened is Colleen Schrader had reached out to Southwest Partners to me and asked about the possibility of placing a landing in memory of her husband somewhere, and she would prefer it to be down there. And I said that would be a really nice addition to everything that we have. Certainly enhances that area quite a bit. And so she proceeded to do the paperwork with Southwest Partners, and we went out and got prices on the landings. Much like you're talking about equipment, we try to keep everything uniform so that if there are problems, we really are dealing with just one source. And so that's what we'll do. Upon your approval, if you so desire to do that, we'll contact Cooley Region Docks. That's where the other ones have come from. And when the timing is there, we'll have them place the landing. So that's an installed landing. I did talk to Spencer and Jody about we would need the other old landing removed out of there, prior to them coming, but that's not a real big project to do that.
So, when you came and told me about this, I don't know, a couple months ago, who were the individuals behind this that came to you and really wanted to be part of this? A family involved?
Colleen Schrader.
Let me just make sure, I know you said it, but I want to make sure credit goes where it should.
Yes, absolutely. They owned Atlanta Springs Campground, and he had passed with cancer, and so this is really more of a memorial thing for him from her, and something that they were passionate about. That Colleen's been a supporter of all of our projects for a long time. So
thank you. Okay, and I'll send it back to Ryan to take it from there. I just wanted to be able to have a chance to introduce what happened and how we got here and give credit to that family.
we will have a dedication, once it's installed and stuff, or she'll be down there, and I'll certainly let you know that.
Thanks.
Finance recommendation was to approve this and bring it to council, so hopefully I don't have to read the resolution.
Would you like to suspend the rules and waive the reading, Mr. Karen?
Don't you get to do this part?
I could do this part, unless you want to. All right, I'll read it for you. Do we have a resolution number, Mr. Clerk? 2024-2?
Yep.
Is that it? Okay, thanks. Resolution to accept a non-monetary donation of a kayak landing. Whereas the City of Richland Center, the city's donation policy requires resolution to the Common Council to accept donations over $5,000. And whereas the city has collaborated with Southwest Partners on previous donations to enhance the visitor experience on the Pine River, making it accessible to all users. And whereas Colleen, is it Schroeder or Schrader? Schrader, thank you. Colleen Schrader has generously donated $17,000 to Southwest Partners to purchase a new, more accessible kayak landing and memorial plaque in memory of her late husband, Bill Schrader, that will replace an existing landing on city-owned parcel 276-2813-6000 on Bowman Drive in the floodplain. And whereas Southwest Partners has procured the required land use zoning permit and will be project managers on the installation with assistance from the Park Maintenance Department. And whereas the Park Board has recommended Common Council acceptance of the non-monetary donation of a kayak landing and memorial plaque, and now therefore be it resolved, the Common Council does hereby authorize acceptance of the non-monetary donation of a new kayak landing and memorial plaque from Colleen Schrader and Southwest Partners. Be it further resolved, the members of the Common Council give thanks to Colleen Schrader for her generous donation and to Southwest Partners for their ongoing collaborative effort to improve the silent sports opportunities in Richland Center. And at this point, we need a motion to approve that resolution.
So moved.
Ryan, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Sorry. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, all in favor of adopting the resolution 2024-2 to accept a non-monetary donation of kayak landing, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, I'm sure that motion is carried. Dale, thanks for all your work on it. If you would thank everyone else, I don't have the whole list of everybody that was part of this. And it did go through, the park board heard this already and was involved, I think, so thanks to everyone over there. This has really been, a lot of people have touched this before it ever got in this room, so thanks to everyone involved.
All right, item 22, consider approval of contract with Chrome Fireworks and Displays LLC for city fireworks for June 29th, 2024. Finance met and Jody went over the contract. My motion would be to approve the contract from Chrome Fireworks and Displays LLC, and it was the amount, was it 17,000?
17,000.
17,000? It'll be my motion.
Motion from Mr. Cairns, is there a second?
A second.
Second from Ms. Stephanie. Jody, how does this compare to, we know the company, right? How does this compare to what they provided in recent years?
Basically, what he told me is that our price hasn't changed for a number of years, and our show will remain the same spectacular show that we've had in the past by bumping it up that 2,000.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any further discussion?
It was very descriptive, Jody.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's what I'm looking for.
Mr. Perry caught that.
Yes, he did.
Further discussion of the spectacular show? All right, hearing none, we'll need a roll call.
Alderperson Cairns,
Aye.
Fruit,
Aye.
Tepley,
Aye.
McCarthy, Chambers,
Aye.
Walters,
Aye.
Melby, Downs. Motion carries.
Item 24, consider bid award for asphalt overlays. Again, finance met before the meeting and went over the bids. Mr. Coe that is here, thank you for sticking around, appreciate that. Discussed the streets and what was going to be done, and so the two bids that came in, Scott Construction and D.L. Gasser. Scott Construction was a low bid, and my motion would be to approve Scott Construction for the overlays at a dollar amount of $86.95 a ton.
We have a motion from Mr. Cairns, is there a second?
I'll second.
I'm gonna go with Chambers.
All right. I would have given it.
All right, the motion and the second, is there discussion?
The only discussion I would have, if you look in your packets and you look at the details that we have the streets that are outlined and maps of the streets, so thank you for getting that together so that we can see it and know where it's going to be done.
Thank you, Ryan. Any further discussion? All right, we'll need a roll call.
Alderperson Fruit,
Aye.
Tepley,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Chambers,
Aye.
Walters,
Aye.
Melby, Downs, Cairns.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, and then item 25, RCPD union contract, MOU, lateral hires. Ashley, do you want to discuss this, or do you want to have Billy do that? Mr. Jones.
He was a running back, don't throw it.
I could catch it, just couldn't throw it. Okay, so we brought this up to finance. The reason for doing that is because of a wage scale adjustment proposed on my behalf as the chief of police, and then also the lateral transfer language in number 1. The reason for that is to give myself and the city of Richland Center the latitude of bringing individuals possibly from other police departments. Maybe we have applicants who would like to move to a smaller, more yes.
Use your name.
Jody, I'm sorry that was sticking with you.
You're welcome.
Next park board.
Very good fireworks show. Give people the opportunity to move into our area, but maybe bring some of their years of experience with them, and to not lose out on certain aspects of their careers and things of that nature. So to offer lateral transfers on wages and vacation benefits, up to equal amounts for the years of service of experience. That's agreed upon a current contract or upcoming contracts. We would like to sign an MOU with the WPD or the Richland Police Department union to allow for that lateral transfer to happen. And then we're also looking to do a wage adjustment from the current starting wage, removing that current starting wage and putting the new starting wage as what is already in the contract as our 6-month wage. So as of right now, all of our police officers, after being hired, they get their first raise at 6 months, and it's a substantial wage increase. Right now, our classification for patrolmen starting wage is $24.90, the $6 an hour, and the 6-month rate is $28.54. So we would like to get rid of that starting wage at $24, start everybody at $28.54, and then continue the increments from there. Obviously, then that would also include on that lateral transfer somebody from maybe with 3 to 5 years experience as another department decides they want to apply here at Richland Center, and they're coming in with that experience. They're not starting at the bottom. They're starting where they left off, or what would be comparable on our contract. Another note that this MOU has not been voted on by the union as of yet, but a lot of these things we've been talking about them internally with the union members in the department, and both sides agree that this is a hiring and retention world we're in right now. We're having a hard time. We're having a hard time bringing people to our community, and one of those reasons, I think, is because of the low start rate. They look at that, they might like our community, they might want to come here, but you know as well as I do, it's about a paycheck as well. So we want to be able to compete. We want to be able to be up there with everyone else, and giving this idea a chance, and still having discretion on my side of it, the police commission side of it, in order who we hire and whys and things of that nature. I really think it will benefit us as a community as a whole.
Okay, so Chief Jones, what you're asking tonight is for the council to adopt this lateral hire memorandum of understanding? Okay, and
That is correct.
Okay, and everybody's got a copy?
Not sure everybody has a copy.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I thought I uploaded it.
Okay.
Apparently I need some more training.
Okay.
I passed mine on to
Whoever hasn't seen that.
I do have another content. I know the finance committee has a copy of it.
Billy, you also mentioned at finance, that you have a 6-month probationary period, but that you also have an additional number of months in?
We actually have an 18-month probationary period. So we look at it as there's already, within that 6 months, they're already getting a huge raise. So now we would have a start at the 6-month rate, and then they wouldn't actually get their second raise until 18 months. So we would have that time to assess them, obviously, make sure they're a fit for our department, make sure they're a fit for the city, and then be able to dismiss if we had to, or continue with remedial training or whatever might be the next step.
I'm going to pause for a minute because I didn't realize some of you hadn't seen that, and I don't want anybody to vote on something they haven't had a minute to look at. So relax and read it. Anybody else need a copy?
Really, if for the wage scale adjustment, going to move away from the 6-month increase, starting out at that 28.54.
Correct.
Is that 54?
54.7.
54.7. Does that then, will there be a 6-month wage increase that goes away, and just at a 1.5 years, then they would be up for? Okay.
Correct.
thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's the way it's outlined, and actually that was a proposal by the union themselves, union members to do it that way.
Starting out with a higher rate, waiting the year to get, okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Yep.
Billy, does this mean that someone coming out of the academy, would they still potentially have the 6 months?
No, they would potentially, minus our new hire that's in the academy right now. So starting, once this is signed and implemented, the persons in the academy would be paid an academy rate, which we have a contract at the police department that's 75% of the $28.50 while they're in the academy. Once they're graduated from the academy, they complete it successfully, then they would start out at the $28.54, and then 18 months from that point is when they would take their next pay raise.
So you'd be considering what they had learned in the academy to be experienced to be brought in?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, correct.
So Billy, the employee you currently have in the academy, his probation does not start until he's completely finished the academy, and then the 18 months starts, correct?
Yes, sir.
What I'll do, I will entertain a motion to adopt our CPD union contract MOU. We'll call it, so everybody's up to speed here, but we can entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion from Ms. Templey, second by Mr. Downs. Mr. Chambers, on
Is this something that the attorneys looked at?
Not, excuse me, not at this point, he hasn't done the final review.
And it also has not been, had the final review of the WPPA agent as well.
Do we need a motion to approve to make those things come into, to start off? Do we have to,
You don't have to. So what it would look like is after the police union looks at it, in the event that they have some sort of tweaks, which we don't foresee, we would want that to be reevaluated anyway. But if there's not anything like substantive of a change from what you approved tonight, there really wouldn't be a reason to bring it back or anything like that. But it will be in Billy's responsibility to make sure that the attorney does give his blessing prior to everybody signing.
last question, Billy. Under part 1, discretion to place lateral hires on the salary/vacation schedules. It mentions in here, may offer lateral candidates wages and vacation benefits up to the equal amount for the years of experience. Does that mean if an officer decides to leave one department to come here, they have 4 weeks of vacation and they get hired on here, but our schedule says at that number of years, whatever service, you would only have 3 weeks of vacation, they would have to go with the 3 weeks and lose that week of vacation potentially?
Yes.
Is that something they could negotiate as well, or that would be, okay, thank you.
Okay. All set, Mark?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion of the RCTV union contract MOU? Okay, hearing let's have a roll call.
Alderperson Tepley,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Chambers,
Aye.
Walters,
Aye.
Melby, Downs, Cairns,
Aye.
Prue.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, and 26 was removed. Okay, appointments to committees, commissions, boards, we did that. I want to ask a question. Billy Jones, were you actually a running back for the Richland Center Hornets? I heard that
I
already.
may have touched the ball.
I have a question. Did you know, and this is for the whole room, we have a hot shot room. Did you know that Mr. Eric Olson was the starting quarterback for the Richland Center Hornets? True story.
Quite aware, and also quite aware of his induction into the Hall of Fame.
It was a dynasty, as I understand, Mr. Olson.
He's-
Remembering that my uncle Bernie Manning was the halfback and I heard the truth, Mr. Olson. How many years were you the starter? 1 year, 2 years?
5.
image likeness, I have not, I don't know how many games there were.
I wasn't sure if you knew that, Billy, and if we're gonna show
Yeah,
up.
like,
Celebrity Olson over there. All right, public comment, I did have one form turned in. The gentleman addressed me, you could call it, in the mayor's office in advance of the meeting, and then told me he had wasted his breath and my time, and he went home. So I don't have any other ones. Does anyone else want to address the council tonight? All right, hearing none, we are at that point. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? All right, that was Mr. Downs on the second. All in favor of adjourning tonight's meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone. So, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you for those of you that stuck around.